Welcome back to the sanctuary of the unspoken, the archive of hidden hearts and the only place where we dissect the whispers that the rest of the world is too afraid to scream. Welcome to Anything You Want. If you have been wandering through the sterile corridors of mainstream news, searching for the raw, beating pulse of human emotion that lies beneath the celebrity veneer, you have finally found your home. Today, we are not discussing a mere rumor or a fleeting tabloid headline. We are standing at the edge of a precipice, looking down into the soul of a man who has finally broken his silence, only to reveal a landscape of regret that could change everything. We are talking about Yaman, Demet Özdemir, and the words that have rewritten their history overnight. Before we descend into this emotional labyrinth, I must ask you to anchor yourself in our community. Please, press that subscribe button, ignite the notification bell so you never miss a beat of the drama. And if you truly wish to empower our independent, deep-dive journalism and walk this path of discovery with us, consider clicking the join button. Your membership is the bedrock of this channel, allowing us to craft these extensive, literary narratives just for you. Now, let us listen to the echo of a confession made in the dead of night. In the grand, often performative theater of celebrity romance, there are scripts written by publicists and then there are the improvised, shattering monologues of the heart. For years, the names Yaman and Demet Özdemir have been linked by a hyphen of speculation, a lingering what if that has refused to fade even as they moved on to separate lives, separate projects, and separate loves. But recently, that silence was broken not by a scandal, but by a chilling moment of clarity. Yaman, a man who has seemingly had the world at his feet, reportedly stood in a circle of his closest confidants and delivered a sentence that has since rippled through the gossip columns like a shockwave. No one can replace you. I couldn't love Sarah the way I loved you. These words, allegedly spoken with a trembling voice late into the night, are not merely a confession of love, they are the epitaph of an era. They are the summary of an unfinished story, a catalogue of repressed regrets, and a confrontation with truths that have gone unspoken for far too long. To understand the gravity of this admission, we must first look at the context, the Big Bang that followed a period of profound silence. In recent months, Yaman has been a ghost in his own life. His once vibrant social media presence dwindled to a standstill. He offered no defense against the mounting accusations regarding his personal conduct, and he retreated from even his closest friends. Gossip columnists, those relentless chroniclers of the stars, suspected that this withdrawal was not an escape route, but an internal reckoning. It seems they were right. At a private event, under the cover of low lights and high spirits, the facade finally cracked. A witness present at the gathering recounts that Yaman's demeanor was not that of a superstar, but of a man burdened by hindsight. I've had many people in my life, he reportedly said, his voice thick with emotion. I thought I loved them, I thought I was attached to them. But Demet was in another place. What I experienced with Sarah was intense, but not deep. With Demet, there was depth. I realized that too late. This comparison is devastating in its honesty. It comes on the heels of his tumultuous, often publicized relationship with Sarah Bluma, a romance defined by its volatility. By juxtaposing the intensity of Sarah with the depth of Demet, Yaman has inadvertently dissected the anatomy of his own heart. Commentators are already calling this moment the belated regret. It is less a romantic plea for reconciliation and more a tragic admission of a missed exit on the highway of life. He has drawn a sharp, irrevocable line between his time with Demet Özdemir and everyone who followed, a move that has surprised both his legion of fans and the hardened representatives of the industry. A source close to Yaman shed further light on the night's revelations, quoting him as saying, "When I was with Demet, I could be myself. With Sarah, everything was more turbulent. Perhaps I mistook the storm for love." This single phrase acts as a skeleton key, unlocking the mystery behind the heated arguments, the sudden breakups, and the endless resentments that have plagued his recent history. It suggests that he has spent years chasing the adrenaline of chaos, only to realize that peace was the true prize he left behind. But what of the woman at the center of this storm? After Yaman's words leaked, the collective gaze of the media swiveled instantly to Demet Özdemir. In true fashion, the beautiful actress has maintained a dignified public silence. She has issued no press release, posted no cryptic quote. However, the silence of the lips often betrays the noise of the heart. Leaked information from her inner circle reveals that this confession landed with profound emotional weight. A close friend of Demet's offered a poignant insight. When Demet heard these words, she was both moved and saddened. Because on the one hand, she thought, he was right. And on the other, she felt, too late. She was hurt, but she didn't hold a grudge. Even so, the old wounds inevitably reopened. This reaction is heartbreakingly human. Özdemir has famously stated in the past that she doesn't want to relive the same thing, a mantra of self-preservation. For her, Yaman's confession is likely not a new beginning, but the final, painful page of a chapter she thought she had closed. It serves not as a consolation, but as a validation of the pain she endured in silence years ago. I must pause here and ask you, the empathetic viewers of Anything You Want, do you believe that a confession made too late has any value? Can words heal the past, or do they merely reopen scars that were better left alone? And who would you like to see us feature next on this channel? Your insights are the compass that guides our storytelling, so please, leave your thoughts in the comments below. We must also consider the collateral damage of this confession, Sarah Bluma. The echo of Yaman's words reached her, as all gossip eventually does. Bluma, who endured criticism, comparison, and attacks throughout her relationship with Yaman, is said to be deeply disappointed. It is a harsh confrontation to hear that one was merely a turbulent chapter compared to the depth of a predecessor. According to sources, Bluma confided in a friend, asking the question that haunts every jilted lover. If he didn't love me like this, why did he go so far? Why did he give me hope? This question has divided the internet. While some defend Yaman's brutal honesty as a necessary step in his healing, others argue that dismissing a partner publicly as not deep is an emotional injustice. Following these events, tension rose within Sarah Bluma's circle. She reportedly became inaccessible, cutting off contact with friends and family, retreating to lick her wounds. However, days later, she broke her silence with a social media post that was brief, powerful, and devoid of names, yet unmistakable in its target. Facing the past doesn't have to break anyone's heart, she wrote. It was a dignified rebuke, a reminder that honesty need not be a weapon. The industry is now abuzz with a debate that transcends romance and touches on professional viability. Producers, agents, and casting directors are weighing the potential consequences of this confession. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir ever share a screen again? Some argue that the emotional baggage is now too heavy, that the air between them would be thick with unsaid things. Others believe the opposite, that this raw, unresolved tension is exactly what makes for cinematic gold. The final act of their professional partnership is not yet written, and the possibility of a reunion project hangs in the air like a tantalizing promise. But let us return to the night of the confession, for the story did not end with that one leaked sentence. It is claimed that as the hours wore on and the emotional walls crumbled further, Yaman elaborated on his feelings. What we experienced with Demet was perhaps incomplete, but it was real, he reportedly said. With Sarah, everything was excessive, but it didn't touch my soul. This distinction between excessive and touching the soul is profound. It explains the erratic behavior, the ups and downs, the inability to find solid ground. It suggests that Yaman has been spiritually adrift since his separation from Demet, trying to fill a void with intensity rather than intimacy. Even his friends, hardened by the industry, remained silent in the face of this admission, recognizing it not just as a complaint, but as a tragic truth of life understood only when the clock has run out. Meanwhile, Demet Özdemir's silence speaks volumes. It has not gone unnoticed that she has posted nothing suggestive, no thirst traps, no living my best life montages. She has even temporarily disabled comments on her platforms, a move that signals a need to protect her peace from the onslaught of opinions. It is a message of boundaries, a declaration that she refuses to be a character in Yaman's narrative of regret. As we analyze this saga, we are left with a burning question: is this the end of an era, or the prelude to a new story? Can Yaman's words, "I couldn't love Sarah Bluma the way I loved you," have gone down in history? They are a silent affirmation for Demet, a harsh reality for Sarah, and a mirror for Can. Everyone is asking, are these words merely a regret for the ghosts of the past, or are they the opening line of a future yet to be written? The world of celebrity news holds its breath. Perhaps some loves don't end with a happy ending, or a wedding, or a sunset ride. Perhaps some loves end with a sincere, devastating confession in a room full of people, years too late. And now, the question that hangs over all of us, the question I leave with you tonight: if these words had been spoken years ago, would everything have been different? Before we close the book on this chapter, I want to remind you of the power of your support. If you appreciate this level of detailed, respectful, and deep analysis, please consider hitting the join button on our channel homepage. It allows us to continue bringing you the stories that matter, told with the care they deserve. Also, do not forget to subscribe to Anything You Want and share this video with those who understand that fame does not immunize the heart against pain. Thank you for walking through the shadows with us tonight. The story of Can and Demet is far from over. It has merely shifted from the tabloids to the realm of legend. We will be here to chronicle whatever comes next, be it a reunion, a rebuttal, or a silence that lasts forever. Until then, take care of your own hearts, and remember, sometimes the loudest truths are the ones whispered in the dark. Stay tuned.